Hello everyone, my name is Ariel Levin and I have Blair Carey here today. Every year around September, October, we start to think, should we do marketing, should we do sales? Because the Christmas holidays are looming, the New Year is looming, and to add to all of that, this year we also have Corona, which is a lot of uncertainty. So I have Blair here from Insight CRO who's gonna shed some light and share his view about what we should do around this time, especially with Corona. So should we be selling, should we be marketing, and how should we approach the whole thing? And also, how should we re-engage with prospects and leads, and when in January?
Fantastic. Thanks, Ariel, for inviting me here to have a chat with you about this.
Absolutely.
Our group, we have a particular focus on helping companies reach the North American prospects, and because of that, everything that you just described here is very appropriate for us. In fact, we can extend it even further. We have 3 specific events happening right now in the North American market, starting immediately until the end of the year. We have the U.S. election on November 3rd.
Wow.
We have U.S. Thanksgiving on November 26th. And then we have the Christmas holidays, which start basically on December 20th. And so if you're thinking about it from a selling weeks perspective, right now there's about 14 weeks until the end of the year.
Yeah.
We have approximately 9 selling weeks. 9 selling weeks. Because typically what happens is the week before presidential election, most people, just from a mindset perspective, and really we're talking about the buyer's mindset here. That's what we're talking about. They basically stop making decisions or basically stop thinking about anything new for about the last week of the election. Because they're completely consumed by the media and the news, and that's where their mindset is, even though it's the clicking over from Halloween, by the way, which is a very big holiday in the United States as well, right? Clicking over from that into the election time. So we have that entire week where we're basically losing the potential outreach opportunities there. Basically, you can book meetings into that week. You can have discovery calls, you can have follow-up calls into that week, but you can't book anything new for that week.
Sure.
It has to be booked basically by the middle of October in order for you to have any kind of calls or meetings with prospects during that week. And then as the U.S. Thanksgiving is the single largest holiday in the United States. It's the one where there's the highest level of mobility. It'll be very interesting to see what happens today, given the current environment with COVID in the United States. But that being said, so understanding that we have 9 selling weeks in the rest of the year, basically what we've seen over the last sort of, I would say, 90 days in the U.S. market and in the Canadian market as well, is that there's 3 types of buyers out there today. Those that have a pain or problem, have the willingness to fix it, and the ability to. And what do I mean by that? I mean, these are what we call every day our qualified and curious buyers. Okay, that's what we call them at Insight CRO. We call them qualified and curious buyers, meaning they know they have the pain, they want to fix it, and they have the ability to. There's a lot of Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies that know they have the pain, want to fix it, but they cannot because they've received notices from the CFO group, from the IT group, from the operations group, that they're not starting anything new, that there's no new projects, they're standing with whatever they have. And companies are prepared in those areas to ride it out for as long as it takes until the pain is so severe that they have no choice to actually make a decision.
Wow.
So we have qualified and curious buyers, have the pain, have the willingness to do something, and the ability to do something. Those are your lowest hanging fruit. If you can find them, you have found a diamond in a massive field, okay?
Yeah.
Then we have buyer 2, have the pain, want to do something about it, but have a structural impediment that does not allow them to do that.
Sure.
And then buyer number 3 is the window shoppers or the tire kickers who are interested in your concept or interested in your idea, but they don't know if they have the pain. They're certainly not willing to do anything about it if they don't have a pain, and they don't necessarily have the ability to do something. Now, all 3 of these buyers exist today in the North American market. Something that's going to become very interesting as we get closer to the end of the year is we might see that the buyer 2 persona shifts to the buyer 1 persona as funds become available in budgets that are unfrozen.
Yeah.
So you have to keep very close tabs on persona 2 right now. Okay, in fact, if you're using some kind of enablement system, you should be classifying each one of your prospects that you're connecting with into one of those three groups.
Sure.
Second thing is you have to decide or position your product into what you have to come to the realization that your product is either medicine, vitamins, or candy.
Medicine, vitamins, or candy. Okay.
Correct. Basically, in today's market, everybody's products are either one of those three things. Now, everybody thinks that their product is medicine. Everybody, every manufacturer, every software producer, every hardware producer thinks that it's actually medicine. But if we actually go and think about what happened in lockdown in July and August, for most people, all right, what was really medicine, okay? Medicine was air conditioning, water, food. That was the medicine. That was what people were prepared to buy for. Internet connectivity. Headsets. I bought 3 headsets because my kids were on Zoom the entire time. Okay? So those are the things that are medicine. Now, if your product is really not any of those essential services that an organization needs to have, then it's either vitamins or candy. That's it. Right? And I can guarantee you that for 6 weeks, there was no candy bought in the Carey household. Because no one was going out. No one was buying candy. We were buying essential services, right? Milk, eggs, cheese, bread, whatever. That's what we were buying. So we were buying the medicine that we needed. So if you think that your product is medicine and is really candy, you need to change your messaging to show buyers, one of those 3 personas, why your product or service is really medicine, right? And if it's not medicine, then you need to change the messaging so that it's actually at least vitamins.
What are vitamins?
So it's a great question. So vitamins are the types of services and products that alleviate pain, but are not necessary in order to carry on your daily business, right?
Sure.
So for example, during this time of health uncertainty, all right, one of the easiest ways that people have told us, our health practitioners have told us, is to get out in the sun to get enough vitamin D. Eat properly, exercise, be properly hydrated so that your immune system is strong, okay?
Yeah.
One of the other ways that you can do that is to take supplements and vitamins, right? Or eat vitamin-rich foods.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think about it like that for a second. Going back to your 3 buyer personas, if you can show them that your vitamins, okay, they're more likely to have a conversation with you. They might not buy, but they might have a conversation. If you're candy, they're not interested in having a conversation with you. It doesn't matter which persona it is that they have. They're just not going to talk to you.
Sure.
Right? And so we layer these 3 personas and the 3 different product types. And remember, the product types are based on what your clients or your prospects' perspective, not what you think it is. So the point that I'm saying is that we add those product types to those 3 buyer personas, and then we layer on the impending effects of timing. We now have to change our messaging so that it meets each one of those personas and positions us properly at the exact right time. So what does that mean from a marketing perspective and from a sales perspective? Okay, marketing and sales need to have messaging that positions their solution and product for each one of their personas in a way that makes sense to the personas. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And we also now need to be speaking in a way that makes sense at a specific time. So basically right now we need to be front-end loading all of our activity. Basically we have until October 31st to really push hard to get all of our activity. So now it's the middle of September, we have 6 weeks, literally 6 weeks to push as hard as possible to try and put as much in the pipeline as we possibly can. Then we have another, I'm gonna call it 3 weeks where things are gonna be, where we can start actually cleaning up some of that stuff, right? And then we have the Thanksgiving weekend, which in the US is a big, Thanksgiving week, which in the US is a big deal, all right? Yeah. And then after Thanksgiving, we have another 2.5 to 3 weeks before the Christmas rush happens. So when you think about each one of those personas, all right, and the potential of what could happen is you could have someone who flips from buyer 2 to buyer 1 in less than a week. Because all of a sudden, the CFO says, oh, we have an extra $250,000 to spend on our ERP project, or we have an extra $150,000 to add to cybersecurity, or we've just had another phishing attack. We need to upgrade our network operations system, or whatever the case is. And the money will come available. As soon as that happens, bang, there you go. You need to be positioned. You need to be in front of those personas at that moment in time.